Tonight on News 5 Live, Guatemalan President-elect Bernardo Arevalo calls on Belize, where he met this morning with Prime Minister John Briceño and Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney. The Minister of Foreign Affairs shares government's latest position on the Venezuela-Guyana crisis. Leslie Young Jr. is gunned down in Belize City, while a pair of convicted murderers receive life sentences for the killing of Sean Menzies. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Man, ever since everybody hear the next big thing there, the excitement can't done. Everyone wants to know more.
More?
Yes, please. I tell them, say hello to unlimited data, only with Digi. You can now enjoy unlimited data with Digi's postpaid plans, like the Plus plan, which just got cheaper, I might add. The Elite and Max plans also have unlimited data. You can have from 5 to 7 people on your shared plan, with all having unlimited data 24/7. I tell you, big things. If you're not signed up already, I suggest you sign up now. Make the switch to Digi. The next big thing there, go sign up for your unlimited data. Unlimited is unlimited. Never worry about data again.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
And I would very much like to keep you in it. So now I have only one question for you. Turn around.
Your Belize City Council, in collaboration with Honorable Kareem Musa and the Caribbean Shores Committee, invites you to the second annual Holiday Night Festival. Join us for an enchanting evening of Christmas cheer this Friday, December 15 at the beautiful Buttonwood Bay Park. Discover the perfect Christmas presents as you explore our vibrant marketplace. Enjoy live entertainment, food, drinks, and a kid zone, including a free hot chocolate bar and much more. So, save the date, Friday, December 15 at the Buttonwood Bay Park from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Bring the entire family as we celebrate the joy of the season. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Season's greetings
to our cherished
Channel 5 family.
As the festive lights twinkle
and we gather around the mistletoe,
we reflect on a year of storytelling
that has both challenged and inspired us.
We've launched groundbreaking series
that captivated viewers across the country
and beyond.
We've won prestigious awards
for journalistic
and production excellence.
We expanded our community outreach,
touching lives
beyond the screen.
Your loyalty
fuels our passion
for innovation
and drives us to new heights.
Thank you for making our achievements possible
as we look forward to creating more memorable moments with you in the coming year.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, December 15th. I am Carla Ayers Musa. President-elect Bernardo Arevalo arrived in Belize this morning, where he met with Prime Minister John Briceño and Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney. The incoming Guatemalan head of state is set to assume office on January 14th, 2024. He arrived at the Philip Golson International Airport sometime around 10:30 this morning and was escorted to the Lang Building, where he called on Belize's head of government and its foreign minister. Arevalo's visit to Belize comes a day after Guatemala's top court ordered Congress to guarantee the swearing in of the president-elect after accepting an appeal against efforts by the prosecutor's office aimed at preventing him from assuming power. News 5 spoke with Minister of Foreign Affairs Eamon Courtney, who provided details of the brief visit.
When President-elect Arevalo was elected, he and Prime Minister had a courtesy call shortly thereafter when Prime Minister congratulated him. And he promised to visit Belize before he took office. And so this is in fulfillment of that promise. It was, of course, not an official visit because he's not yet in office, and so the discussions were very informal. He came accompanied by the foreign minister designate and an advisor. We spoke about our bilateral relations and the need for us to restart things. We spoke about trade, we spoke about migration, cooperation in drug smuggling, anti-drug smuggling. And he pledged that once he took office, he wished to reinvigorate the discussions and to move the agenda forward. We had quite an involved discussion about Central America and SICA and some of the challenges that we have there. And there was an exchange of views between himself and the Prime Minister on that. And then, of course, we spoke about wider things in Latin America and the Caribbean and, some of the things. He assured Prime Minister that the Constitutional Court had ruled yesterday in Guatemala that he is to be sworn in as president on the 14th of January. So that was very good news. So it was a very fruitful, very cordial, and I think a very positive discussion.
Arevalo's visit also comes a few days after Guatemala applied to the International Court of Justice to join, as an interested party, the claim involving Belize and Honduras over sovereignty of the Zapadilla Keys. Foreign Minister Courtney reiterated government's position in the latest development where that matter before the World Court is concerned.
They have applied to join, and so that matter is going to be determined by the court whether they will be allowed to join. As I had said to the media before, we were not surprised by that. We expected them. The issues overlap, and the main purpose for us bringing the case against Honduras was to have the sovereignty over those keys and that area resolved finally by the court. Now Guatemala wants to join that case. They have applied. The court is going to make a determination. At this stage, their application is being considered by our international lawyers, and we expect next week to get some preliminary advice from them as to what position we should take. and so that matter is being reviewed.
On Thursday in Argyle, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Guyanese President Irfan Ali and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro met to discuss the Essequibo, a territory in dispute between the two countries. The discussions were facilitated by Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, the pre-tempore president of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC. Coming out of the discussions, it was agreed that Guyana and Venezuela, directly or indirectly, will not threaten or use force against one another in circumstances including those consequential to any existing controversies between the two states. It was also agreed that any controversies between the two states will be resolved in accordance with international law, including the Geneva Agreement dated February 17, 1966. Guyana's assertion that it is committed to the process and procedures of the International Court of Justice for the resolution of the border controversy was also noted. Likewise, Venezuela's lack of consent and lack of recognition of the ICJ was also noted.
First of all, President Ali had asked Prime Minister to come, and the Foreign Minister had asked me to go. The problem we had was that it would take us just over 2 days to get to St. Vincent, and then we would not be able to get back in time to receive President-elect Arevalo. So unfortunately, we couldn't be there in solidarity with Guyana. We're very happy with the fact that President Maduro and President Ali sat down. We are very happy about the outcome, where both parties, and primarily Venezuela, pledged not to use force to resolve any dispute. They committed to the ICJ process, at least Guyana did, and they acknowledged that their dispute should be resolved in a peaceful way. And we see this as a beginning to reducing the verbal war of words that was taking place. So we think it is very positive. We would want to commend Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, who as chair of CELAC was the lead in this. And as I say, it's very positive. I hope that the parties, as we expect, act in good faith on their commitments. There is a promise to meet within 6 months, and I think that is also very positive. So that was a very good day for CARICOM and for CELAC.
Tonight, there is good news for consumers. The price of 16-ounce sliced bread will remain at $1.50 wholesale and $1.75 retail. Earlier this month, we reported that the Collective Bakers issued a statement in which it said that the price of sliced bread would be increased by $2.25 wholesale and $2.50 retail. Well, the Collective Bakers have had a change of heart. The reason for this recent decision is a commitment from the government of Belize. A release from the Collective Bakers states, quote, "As a result of recent and multiple meetings held with the CEO of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food, Security and Enterprise and the Director of the Supplies Control Unit, we have gotten a written commitment from GOB that they will assist the bakers with a subsidy program, which ultimately benefits the consumer, and made a further commitment to continue discussions aimed at ensuring the viability of the baking industry," end quote. The group says it sees GOB's commitment as an act of good faith, and so the price of sliced bread will not increase on December 18th. Coming up, Leslie Young Jr. is gunned down on Newtown Barracks. We'll have more details when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For we are laborers together with God." The secret to living in a successful society is learning to link your life up with others. Once a famous organist was to give several concerts using an old-fashioned pump organ. The bellows of the organ had to be pumped by hand, so the organist hired a young boy to stand behind the organ and pump while he played. After the first concert, the boy said to the organist, "We played good tonight." "What do you mean, we?" "I was the one who played, not you," replied the organist. When the organist sat down to begin the next concert, no sound came out of the organ. It suddenly dawned on him that there was no air in the bellows. The organist whispered to the boy behind the organ, "Pump." The boy responded in a whisper, "Say we." When you find a great church, a great school, a great country, a great athletic team, a great band, you will discover that it is not just because of its leader, but because of the people behind the leader who have learned the secret of cooperation. Link your life to others, and most importantly to Jesus Christ, who wants your life to have purpose. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Daddy! Buy me one Carol Consomme.
Carol Consomme. Carol, Mr. Sam, give me a...
You want egg? Oh, you want consomme? Carol Consomme.
Carol Consomme. The best taste and the best price. Less fat, more flavor. Carol Consomme. Available in packets for only 20 cents and a half-pound jar for only $2.75. Less fat, more flavor, more savings.
Give me a...
Carol Consomme.
Taste the savings. Love the flavor.
Available at 88 Shopping Center, Publix Supermarket, TJ Supermarket, Ming Superstore, Sugar City Supermarket, and you can also find it at your favorite supermarkets near.
A mosquito breeding site can be as big as a barrel or as small as this container. This is why it is very important to eliminate mosquito breeding sites in and around the home. Wash and change the water in containers at least every 7 days. If you have water barrels, remember to keep them well covered and wash with soap at least every 7 days. If you live in an area where there are many mosquitoes, protect doors and windows with mosquito nets. Turn containers that can accumulate water upside down and eliminate those that cannot be used. Keep trash bins well covered and free from water. Clean gutters and drains to avoid accumulating garbage and water. Share this information with your neighbors so that the entire community works to eliminate breeding sites and prevent dengue. Remember, check, wash, cover, flip, and eliminate.
Today is also the time to make clear that the new management and board of the port must and will operate the facility mindful always of their primary obligations to the employees, to shareholders, who are customers, and to the community. The port will not be a sandbox for the play of party politics. We plan to nominate representatives of labor and the business sector to sit on the board, and the company is to operate as a pivotal public utility so that its profitability can sustain this acquisition.
Golden Bay is the place to be this Christmas season. Shopping for the whole family is an amazing experience when you do it at the right store. You can get Christmas ornaments and trees, small kitchen appliances, home fixtures, rechargeable toys, kitchen and bathroom supplies, baby supplies, food items, and much more. We're open on Monday to Saturday at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays, you can enjoy a whopping 10% off everything from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Shop in stores or contact us at 223-1339 or WhatsApp us at 635-1624. Shop today for more only at Golden Bay.
At The Oasis, we believe in the art of celebration. Our exquisite range of wines adds a touch of elegance to every celebration. Elevate your sports night with the finest spirits from The Oasis. Savor the victory with every sip. Love, laughter, and the perfect blend. Whether it's a romantic evening or a casual get-together, our spirits set the mood. The Oasis is your destination for all occasions. Visit us today and discover a world of taste, quality, and elegance. The Oasis, where every bottle tells a story.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. Do we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company?
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
Season's greetings
to our cherished
Channel 5 family.
As the festive lights twinkle
and we gather around the mistletoe,
we reflect on a year of storytelling
that has both challenged and inspired us.
We've launched groundbreaking series
that captivated viewers across the country
and beyond.
We've won prestigious awards
for journalistic
and production excellence.
We expanded our community outreach,
touching lives
beyond the screen.
Your loyalty
fuels our passion
for innovation
and drives us to new heights.
Thank you for making our achievements possible
as we look forward to creating more memorable moments with you in the coming year.
"19-year-old Leslie Young Jr. lost his mother and younger brother a year ago and just welcomed his first child a few months ago. Tonight, his body is at the morgue at the Carl Huschner Memorial Hospital. The teenager was shot and killed on Thursday night near the Mexican Institute here in Belize City. It is believed that he was attacked by at least 2 men who pursued him along Newtown Barracks and opened fire on him during the downpour around 9 o'clock. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
19-year-old Leslie Young Jr. lost his life on Thursday night when he was pursued by unknown assailants in the vicinity of Newtown Barracks. Despite an attempt to flee from his attackers, Young was gunned down during a heavy shower that blanketed the city sometime after 9 p.m.
I don't really never know really what happened or anything about my sister. She have some messages and thing for a person will lead my brother and tell my brother that they buy so signed by DKs that make they call they when I look they say he did it wait me no know they say 3 or me no know how much gunman or whatsoever. Ghana, he run for life and get caught up right there and they just shut up he so they say they jumped the embassy they don't in the compound on the ground.
A resident of LaCroix Boulevard had been in communication via text messages with his sibling prior to the deadly incident. He had just told her that he was heading home to her to spend the night. That was the last she would hear from him until she was later informed of the tragic incident. His grand-aunt was also taken by surprise when she heard of the fatal shooting.
I'm in the sleep. I'm so tired. I'm come for our Jilly Christmas party. But when I woke up this morning, after one, my mind tell me go on my Facebook. But when I see on my Facebook, on BBN News, the flash news that somebody got gunned down. But I didn't, when they said the person got gunned down, and which party get gunned down, they never said the name. and then describe the clothes we had on, but I still can't bring it to terms who is the person and who he related to. And so I went back to sleep. But when I woke up after 6 this morning, I woke up to go see my beautiful home that I got from Mr. Gillette. But upon reaching the house, one of my niece, the aunt of Leslie, husband, looked at me and told me that he was gone down, and I started screaming. I said, no, man.
It is unclear whether Leslie was the victim of an ongoing internal feud involving a gang in the LaCroix Boulevard neighborhood of Belize City.
Back here where we live, and I say not hang out, I think yes, it does hang out, I think, but since my mama and brother passed away, he stopped then there. For we tell about friend they kill friend, and lot of things that happen right now. For then my brother change life, he live for see picnic. For then, I don't know. But what they do to my brother, I just know they hope I know what they do.
According to Odessa Orozco, she last saw her grandnephew on Monday. News of his death earlier today took her by complete surprise.
When they tell me he get hurt and he passed away, I like to do that cry, because he lost his mom last year and his little brother, you know. So he only 19, and he knows. Always tell me growing up, he say, auntie, he say, because when my son get sick, Mr. Zabani farm and go quick me purchase one property wrong here for me, and it for me make my son live by it. So Leslie want to live with me, but I tell her, as soon as I get the house, you want to come, Papa. And he was a little baby boy, a sweet little boy, and Junior grew up in our rough life, man, and then, you know, I'm one he better for himself. He just have a little baby too, but Junior, you know, he slip away from me and not hurt.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Today, 2 men who were convicted last month of the 2018 murder of Bowen & Bowen employee Sean Menzies were sentenced to life in prison. Eric Miranda and Jeffrey Contreras listened as Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft sentenced them to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole until they have served 30 years. The men have been on remand for the past 3 years, so they will need to serve 27 more years before they can apply for parole. In delivering his sentence, Justice Sancroft lamented that he must send 2 young, vibrant men to jail, but that he must strike a balance because a life has been lost. The sensational murder trial was one that saw many hurdles and barriers for Crown Counsel Reese Catus, whose main witness, Ivan Jones, was also murdered days after testifying in the trial. During a mitigation plea today, both convicted men spoke. Miranda's last words were, quote, "I have changed my life. I am now a Christian. I completed my high school and got my diploma in prison. I graduated at the top of my class," unquote. According to Miranda, he is now a changed man and he is sorry that this has happened to him. In his view, he followed bad company and ended up down this path. Contreras had little to say, only that he is sorry and apologized to the family of the deceased, offering to them his condolences. After the break, progress being made in CCJ consent order. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Receipt. That's where that.
That's where what? What do you mean that's where this
Kimberly, you'd hear yourself. I make sure I get my receipt, even if I leave it, I think could be a shilling chip. I want to make sure my tax dollars to go up where they're supposed to go. Nobody know why they overcharge me right now.
Why would you even have to pay tax?
Listen to me. I want you to understand something. Make I put down my receipt. Taxes and the economy that like a bike. Taxes that the wheels from this bike will help pay for education, for make streets, for the housing projects, for even we salaries and even the development of the country. So we have to keep this bike the move because it carry everybody around.
The Belize Tax Service Department would like to remind you to always ask for a tax receipt with every purchase. Let us all do our part to ensure the further growth of Belize. Together we build our country, your contribution, our development.
Where you going, bruh? The who they stress you out again, Namule?
Boy, I don't believe at the fool again.
Again?
But I mess up this time for real, for real. You don't really want to know?
Yes.
I want here.
Can't make it a big deal.
We know what that.
I know how you going now.
Oh, man.
You really want to know?
Yeah?
Take my plan, and I give her. I take my plan and put it in a name.
In a name?
Wait, so tell me something. You still pay for this plan?
Yeah. But hear this. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize. This plan, I can't left this plan, yeah. This plan, I can't left this plan. Postpaid plan. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize, it's unlimited data. Smart choice plan can light up your day. Postpaid with eSIM, make everything better. Just visit Smart showrooms today. I can't left this plan. 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 Affordable for everyone. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong.
You know why? Listen, hey, for the best post on prepaid. You know that Smart got you back.
My bad. Wrong commercial. She could left me for another man. The truth, once I have my plan, once I have my Smart Plus plan, I no worry cause the data strong. I know when you bleed, cause that's all I need. And you could tell me where you are, but I know I left this plan. Smart have the best services. We post your plan have everything, so you could talk and text unlimited. Come set up your group. We got share plan 1 and 2. Up to 10 friends can connect anywhere. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Don't dig it down, 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 don't dig it. Smart, bringing people together.
This is how the UDP acquires a company. They seize it and refuse to pay. They pretend to fight in court for years, while friends and family make millions and millions and millions. And then, when those millions have been made, Mr. Barrow turns around and makes a secret deal with Ashcroft, which not even his cabinet knew about, much less the Belizean people. And taxpayers end up paying over $600 million. That is the UDP way, with friends, family, and Ashcroft laughing all the way to the bank. Things are different now. This government's acquisition of the port is transparent and was taken to the House for approval. It was negotiated by a credible team. It has resulted in significant savings for the Belizean people and no additional debt to taxpayers. There is no friends and family millionaire club plan. This is good governance. This is governance for the people. As for those talkers on the other side,
the UDP will never recover. God help the UDP.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Apply now for an undergraduate degree in animation, film, or journalism at the Caribbean School of Media and Communication at the University of the West Indies, Mona. For more information, visit www.mona.uwi.edu/apply.
During the sitting of the House of Representatives on December 7th, the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, said that Belize is progressing towards implementing the Caribbean Court of Justice consent order regarding Maya land rights. Minister Balderramos Garcia also provided an update on the government's development of a free, prior, and informed consent (FPIC) protocol and a Maya customary land tenure policy. The justices of the CCJ have said that they do not want to be dealing with this matter for more than 10 years, which gives the government up to 2025 to finalize and implement the consent order. Spokesperson for the Maya Leaders Alliance and the Toledo Alcaldes Association, Christina Cook, also says there has been progress.
There has certainly been progress. I think that our dialogue with the state has improved tremendously with the introduction now of Mr. Andrew Marshall-Leck. I think that we're listening to each other. Of course, very grateful to the Caribbean Court of Justice's continued supervision to the implementation of this. I think that the government has realized that they can only delay this for so long, right? Implementation is critical. It has to happen. It's not optional. It's an obligation. Belize has to recognize that it is a country that upholds the rule of law, and they have to implement. How they go about doing it is what matters. If they are willing to sit with us as equal partners at the table to look at how we jointly implement this historic decision, we could see tremendous opportunities in it. But if we continue to come at each other from a very adversarial position, then no one benefits and no one's interest is served. And so we really appreciate that the dialogues have opened. I think that is very important. We are moving ahead with the demarcation of lands and territories. We look forward to the government's continued involvement in that and serious investment in that.
We also are moving ahead with the development of the Maya land tenure policy, which is going to set the framework for the legislation to protect Maya people's property rights as Indigenous peoples. And I'm very happy to see that the government has made very special and concentrated meetings with government ministers to try to bring about greater understanding around Maya land rights, because too often it's just we hear it, but we don't understand it. We don't understand the international obligations of Belize as a nation state to protect and safeguard not just human rights, but Indigenous people's rights in particular. We recently had a hearing before the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, where the government has agreed for the Inter-American Commission to come and do a site visit and to help the general public, but also the people of Belize, to really underscore the importance of human rights standards, Indigenous people's rights, and to help to build that capacity in some way, so that we can begin to diffuse the often misunderstandings around these rights. It's not special rights, it's not an entitlement, it's not a privilege. It is in fact the protection of life, equality and justice for Indigenous peoples.
We also asked Koch about comments made by Minister Dolores Balderramos Garcia in mid-November. The minister said that the MLA grouping cannot have the entire Toledo district. Minister Balderramos Garcia went on to say that the government would be the one to impose a limit. Koch first clarified that the Maya people are not asking for a state within a state, before saying that for any lands taken away from the Maya people, there will need to be compensation.
The Maya people are not asking for a state within a state. Let's just put that out there and put that to rest. However, when you make a statement like that, you really have to be truthful to the public. And the truth is that what is recognized is the customary use and occupation of those lands and territories by Indigenous peoples, by Maya people. And that is to be determined through an agreed process of identifying where those lands are, demarcating it, titling it, and providing the protections necessary for it. No, if after the end of that process, it is identified that the Maya people actually are using and occupying 90% of the Toledo district, then it's not a matter of whether you think they are deserving of it or worthy of it, or whether you think that that is too much for the Maya people. The basis upon which this recognition and this affirmation rests is on the evidence that Indigenous peoples, Maya people, are using and occupying this space. And so if the government feels that after the process is completed, that there is evidence that they are using this space and that the government feels that they need to reduce this space, then the Constitution provides for that. But the Constitution provides that lands cannot be arbitrarily deprived of any landowner, whether that's by a collective nature that the Maya people would have, or by an individual private property owner. They cannot be deprived of the land without reasonable compensation within a reasonable time. And so it's important for those in office to really reckon with this and really educate the public to understand that the government can take those lands or reduce or limit or take some of it away, but they must reasonably compensate the Maya people. And they must do that only for a public interest. So for instance, you could not just carve out a portion of the Maya lands to give to your friends or to give to individuals. It has to surpass the threshold of what is the public interest, right? And the Maya people have to be reasonably compensated.
We also asked Koch about those Maya people who do not want to be a part of the CCJ consent order and do not want to pursue customary land rights. She says that they are free to make their own decision.
The way that we have organized has always been through our direct representatives of the Maya villages. The alcaldes represent all 41 Maya villages. The MLA and the TA have been the appellants in this case. And so obviously they've been pursuing the legal recognition of our lands and territories. I am the representative of the Toledo Alcaldes Association by consensus from all 78, now 80 leaders. And the Maya Leaders Alliance, of course, is a coalition of Maya leaders who believe in the rights of indigenous peoples. And so who do we represent? We represent the majority of indigenous peoples that believe that we should have our rights recognized. Now, I know the next question is, well, what about those who don't believe in it, who don't want to pursue customary land rights? That the work of the Maya Leaders Alliance and the Toledo Alcaldes Association has always been to fight for the self-determination of our people. And the true sense of the word self-determination is for you to be able to make your own decisions, to envision your own future, to determine your own future. And so it's a self-determined process. If there are individuals that feel that this does not serve their interests, then that is their right to make that decision. But by and large, the majority of our people continue to stand behind the protection of our customary land tenure system.
During the course of the last few months, News 5 has taken a deeper look at what happens with cases involving missing persons and murders that remain unsolved. We've covered the aspect of the families of those persons who are still hoping for closure in the case of the unsolved murders. We've also covered stories of others who anticipate the return of their loved ones in the case of those who are missing. We've also looked at the forensic element of solving those puzzles where biological evidence plays a part when eyewitness testimonies are scarce. And today, we sat down with Senior Superintendent of Police Gerald Jones, who explained what investigators do in scenarios where persons are either murdered or simply go missing. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The story of Anisha Young brings back a vivid reminder of the horror her family endured when she went missing in December of 2018. 5 years later, they are still hoping for some indication of her whereabouts. Anisha is just one case among countless others that have vanished without a trace. For those of us who don't know how the police handle these cases, we sat down today with Senior Superintendent of Police Gerald Jones, who is the Deputy Head of the National Crimes Investigations Branch.
Well, we'll get in contact with the Senior Police Officer, for which the Senior Police Officer would give the understanding for us to definitely disseminate the information to mobiles, foot patrols, as well as motorcycle patrols that, yes, we have a report of a missing person, and to be on the lookout for such. So we will coordinate our efforts within our internal communication network system that we use. That photograph and information will then send to the police public press officer, who is the only authorized entity to disseminate information to share to members of the general public as well as to the media. We will inform all ports of entries to be on the lookout for that individual. And like I said, as time goes by, police officers will definitely have to canvass the scene if there is a scene. Sometimes we cannot establish a scene right there and then, but we normally ask and request the scenes of crime to come in to canvass the scene. The place where the last person was seen, maybe the person was in a vehicle, maybe the person left home and did not return back. So we would need to look at evidentiary support.
Jones said that because time is crucial in finding people that go missing, the department has cut down on the turnaround time before that information is disseminated.
In the past, if an adult has been reported missing, we would wait for 24 hours before we initiate any activity as such. Okay. That is no longer the case. From the moment a person has been reported missing, be it an adult or a minor, immediate steps are put in place in order to locate that individual. Okay. So we will partner with other agencies, maybe BDF, Coast Guard, depending if the person is missing at sea, to coordinate efforts to locate that individual.
So you'd say within a few hours?
Within a few hours.
But what happens to cases like Anisha, where the persons have gone missing? There is a window of 7 years within which Jones says the investigation continues.
Police are being actively on case at all times. So as long as evidence are forthcoming, police will always be actively involved in conducting investigation. There are times when it a bit slow down. It slows down. However, we rely on community outreach again, members of the public to come forward to share information, or we get intelligence from our very own police officers, and then we continue with our investigation.
There are times when the person is missing for years, and then it's like a dead end. There's nothing that comes forward.
Right, and in that matter, we will then come in together and sit down and have the file that has been compiled so far, read over those documentations, and get the assistance probably with our legal advisor or our very own commissioner of police, who is an attorney, of course, trained, and even our DPP office or commanders, and see where we can go forward with that investigation.
After a person goes missing for 7 years or longer, they are legally presumed dead. But Jones says there is a high success rate of finding persons who go missing, whether they intentionally just took time away from their usual surroundings and later return, or they migrate elsewhere without telling anyone. Statistically, persons who are reported missing number the most between the ages of 13 to 17, and a higher percentage of females return home than males. But what about murders that go unsolved? Jones explained that the most crucial aspect of a murder is gathering the evidence.
We look for witnesses, we conduct interviews, and ensure that we try to put together a good case, compile a good case file for us to have a successful prosecution. We will definitely conduct interviews on potential witnesses that can help us. We will rely on CCTV, maybe footages that can help us in the aid of the investigation.
And just like missing persons who are never found, even with the information gathered, there are murders that are never solved. Jones says there also remain open investigations. Last card 321. Jones reminded recently that there was an arrest of a person who was charged with a murder that occurred in southern Belize in 2021. Currently, the murder count for 2023 stands at 81. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
A young man who was reported missing on Thursday morning has returned home to his family safely, but not without a horrendous couple of hours at the hands of alleged kidnappers. 16-year-old Jason Parham told News 5 this evening that he was heading to a shop on Holy Emmanuel Street on Thursday morning when a car pulled up beside him and 4 men forced him inside. He shared his ordeal with us.
I went to buy flash and I went to buy food. So when I was going along the lane to buy food, I saw an unknown car come beside me, put a black thing on my head. So then the vehicle then went, I don't see which direction it take me to, but I went up middle on the road. They told me they say the cause of my brother, but I don't be in any gang activities or them there.
Okay, who is your brother?
Devon.
Devon Parham?
Yes, Mom.
Okay. Why would they mention Devon Parham?
They don't mention his name. They say this is a message to your brother.
Parham said his kidnappers left him on one of the highways which he could not identify, after which he hitchhiked a ride to a cousin's house where he spent the night before going home today. When we return, COP28 marks a milestone with fossil fuel phase-out agreement.
In the late 80s, we had malaria in the thousands. It has been a constant decrease up to now that we have reached elimination phase.
It is a very proud time for us in Belize to say that we've had 0 cases since December 2018.
Ha estado bien duro, bastante trabajo, pero gracias a Dios lo hemos logrado.
For our country, it's a great achievement. I must thank our people who have made this possible.
Whether it be through mobile clinics, whether it be through the malaria program, through voluntary collaborators, through community health workers, the ministry has always had a presence.
We were just like sharks, piranhas. The moment we hear about a case, so we go immediately and attack it.
To reach here, it's not just the government, it's not just the program, but it's a unified effort, the input from everybody and all the stakeholders.
We plan to continue to work hard and try to target as much fever cases as possible to stay malaria free.
The cases that we've had during or that last 3 years up to now has always been imported cases, and these cases were detected early and treated. Definitely a whole investigation occurred, and this was all thanks to the surveillance system that we have set up in our country.
We have different organizations that can come together and we can contribute to keep this 0 cases of malaria here in Belize.
What we need to do is not let down our guards and be able to continue the good work that has been happening.
I believe that what we're seeing currently is a testament to the arduous work, the commitment, and also the resilience of our people.
This is a significant achievement for Belize, and in maintaining 0 cases for malaria is helping to reduce the impact on our people's health.
Here in Belize, with all the difficulties we have and the challenges we have, it's our hearts that keep us driving to keep our people safe.
We are, as a country, committed to ensure that we can keep Belize malaria free. We now need to ensure that the entire region is also malaria free.
Belize Electricity Limited encourages you to enjoy this holiday season by following these safety and energy conservation tips. Inspect each holiday light string for rusted light sockets, cords, and plugs for damages. If you notice any damages, throw away the strings of lights. Consider using LED lights. They remain cool, are more durable, and consume less energy. Use only extension cords certified by Underwriters Laboratories UL for safety. Distribute light strands among multiple extension cords and use power strips. This prevents circuit overload that would otherwise overheat and potentially start a fire. Remember, even when switched off, your decor still consumes small amounts of electricity. So curb the waste by plugging all decorations into power strips and turn off lights when not in use. Finally, when decorating outdoors, always look up and keep ladders away from overhead power lines.
Belize Electricity Limited wishes you a safe and happy holiday season.
What is that sound?
It's the enchanting melody of smart sleigh bells announcing the arrival of Saturday sales. Imagine this. Every Saturday in December, the magic unfolds at smart showrooms countrywide from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Here's the scoop. The first 20 customers get even bigger discounts like Phones for as low as $50. Selected postpaid plans get a Samsung device for as low as $99. Plus 50% off for 3 months. Make the switch and unwrap a free SIM bundled with SMS, minutes, and data. And if that's not sweet enough, every credit recharge of $50 and up automatically get tripled up. That's triple the joy. Other promotions also available every Saturday. Don't miss out on the festive fun. Be a part of the celebration every Saturday leading up to Christmas. Smart, bringing people together.
This Christmas, gift Rompopo in recycled glass bottles.
I hope you wash that bottle good.
For your next Christmas party, use silverware.
Always carry your reusable bag.
And be sure to use it.
Gift homemade presents this Christmas.
Make plastic-free family resolutions this new year.
Buy your vegetables loose and fresh.
Why, Brick? Make sure you buy soft drink in a pint, you know.
Yes, girl, sugar. In nicer and a cola.
Ditch plastic straws this holiday season and either use metal, bamboo, or paper straws.
This Christmas, get creative and make some of your Christmas ornaments at home.
Hey, wrap it up, guys. When you forgot a studio of a wrap.
Yes, I.
Get creative with wrapping this Christmas.
Pack your Christmas leftover dinner in a reusable container.
Cheers!
And not forget your reusable cup.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. This Christmas, choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances. Distributed by Nando's Wholesale.
COP28 wrapped up with an additional 24 hours of negotiations, signaling what many believe is the start of the decline of the fossil fuel era. The final agreement committed to expediting the phase-out of coal, tripling renewables, doubling energy efficiency by 2030, and steering toward net zero emissions in the energy sector by mid-century. While the COP28 deal garnered positive responses, concerns linger about notable loopholes, particularly voiced by small island nations feeling marginalized. Hipólito Novello reports.
Negotiations at COP28 went to overtime, concluding with 24 hours extra of negotiations. Negotiations finalized with the final gavel, marking what some are heralding as the commencement of the end of the fossil fuel era. The conclusive text sealed an agreement to hasten the phase-out of coal, triple the use of renewables, double energy efficiency by 2030, and embark on a transition away from fossil fuels towards achieving net zero emissions in the energy sector by mid-century. COP28 President Dr. Sultan Al Jaber described it as a historic package, the UAE Consensus.
And we have language on fossil fuel in our final agreement for the first time ever. All of these are world firsts. And all of these are crucial actions that will help shape a better, cleaner world with greater and more equitable prosperity.
The landmark Global Stockton Agreement, a COP28, also encouraged nations to hasten efforts towards reducing unabated coal power, a notable concession after strong resistance from India and China. Reactions to the COP28 deal were mixed. While some hailed it as the beginning of the end of fossil fuels, others condemned it as a significant letdown. For Belize, its position was clear from the onset: defend the interests of vulnerable countries.
Belize is recognized, and we recognize it as one of the most vulnerable countries to the adverse impacts of climate change. So we have to come here to defend that interest, that we need the support from the international community to address the issues of climate change. In addition, we can contribute a lot to reducing the impacts of climate change in other countries through the use of our forests, through the use of our natural resources in the oceans. So there's a lot that we can contribute, but then there's also a lot that we are vulnerable to, and then we have got to show the world why we are vulnerable and what is the help that we require to address climate change. Despite the advancements of the final GST text, however, there are evident loopholes, and not everyone is content. As celebrations surround the final stocktake text, negotiators representing small island development states underscored their absence from the room, underscoring that their endeavors to cap global warming at 1.5 degrees were largely overlooked.
And one of the goals in that Paris Agreement is the 1.5 degree temperature limit. That limit exists because of small island developing states. And it exists because without having a limit on global warming, we could see significant losses for our countries. Small island developing states include Belize, even though we're a low-lying coastal state. So we've been looking at progress, and we know that we're far off track.
Looking ahead to COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, observers anticipate finance to become a key issue, with a growing gap between developing countries' needs and the assistance provided.
In terms of adaptation for us, which is the most important part, especially looking at the finance for adaptation, because we are doing our share, but we need to have the financing to get there. So the discussion on adaptation, especially with regards to finance, we couple it along with general climate finance, which we are asking that $100 billion be put out there, that they make certain that every year, for what has been promised for the next 10 years, is that $100 billion gets there.
Reporting for News 5, Hipólito Novello.
Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith has been elected as chairman of the Board of Trustees for the University of Belize. At a meeting held on Thursday at UB's Central Campus in Belmopan, Smith was elected to succeed former chairman Anthony Sylvester Jr., who was sworn in as the new Attorney General on July 1st. During the meeting, Major Lloyd Jones was re-elected as vice chairman. Present at the meeting was Minister of Education Francis Fonseca. Up next, a practical guide to mental hygiene by author Yogi Charu.
beautiful together.
Looking for a great way to explore the beauty of Belize this weekend? Caribbean Sprinter is the fastest water transport for your perfect island hopping experience. Spend less time waiting and more time enjoying. Book your tickets now online at sprinter.bz.
Welcome to Climate Week, where we unite under the banner of climate action, one goal, a shared responsibility. In a world where the climate crisis knows no borders, we're here to emphasize that saving our planet is not an individual journey, but a collective mission.
We the athletes hold the torch of hope for a sustainable future. It's our planet, our future, and our responsibility to take action now.
Businesses are committed to reduce our carbon footprint. We believe in sustainable practices to protect our development.
As educators, we represent the heart of our communities. Together, we can make a difference by educating our nation towards a sustainable future.
The media plays a critical role in bringing to you those stories that highlight Belize's transition to renewable energy and sustainable practices.
In the journey to combat climate change, we have one goal: to preserve our planet for future generations. It's a shared responsibility that requires the collective effort of all. Let's rise above our differences, lift our ambitions, and work together. Because when we work together and unite for climate action, we can achieve the impossible. Join us in making this world a better place for everyone. Together, we can make the difference.
Please protect our environment.
In a world that is increasingly grappling with the complexities of mental health, a Belizean yogi turned author is offering a timely and practical guide to navigating the intricate landscapes of the mind. As the universal conversation around mental well-being takes center stage, Yogi Charu's new book, aptly titled A Practical Guide to Mental Hygiene, becomes a much-needed compass for those seeking balance and tranquility in their lives. In this edition of The Bright Side, we delve into the importance of mental health, explore Yogi Charu's transformative journey, and discover how his insights are illuminating a path towards mental well-being for readers around the world.
Recognition was extended across the room at the Belize Image Factory as friends, family, and associates reflected on life's significant contributions of Yogi Charu, while commemorating a book launch of the Belizean author.
It becomes even more understandable, but that he was an outstanding student, for sure. For sure.
Titled A Practical Guide to Mental Hygiene, Charu, a Sanskrit name bestowed upon Charles Lewis, is the author and yogi who shares his message to obtain and maintain mental hygiene.
They have tools to use to make their mind
and heart peaceful. We cannot go into the store and buy mental toothpaste, mental toothbrush, but there are techniques. So I want someone to walk away with tools. Oh, I can sit for 5, 10, 15 minutes every day and quiet my mind, make my mind my best friend.
Charu started his personal journey at the age of 17 when he encountered 2 books, Bhagavad Gita and The Science of Self-Realization. His interest and path subsequently shifted entirely as the once aspiring doctor wanted now a life of a yogi.
I saw this semi-unconscious frog and the heart still beating, and my mind was like, I can't do this anymore. I love animals. So I put down the tweezer, put down the scissors. I gracefully left my class and I never returned. Because I wanted to pursue this life of nonviolence, of universal love for every living being, not just humans, but animals and plants as well.
A yogi or yogini practices yoga, a holistic system originating in ancient India. Dedicated to self-realization and inner peace, they engage in physical postures, breath control, and meditation. But the ultimate goal is a harmonious union of mind, body, and spirit, seeking enlightenment and connection with the divine.
It's something we do every day to evolve in our mental space, keeping the mind peaceful, and the heart space, keeping the heart filled with love, compassion, and kindness. Then there is the meditative side of yoga, where you sit down and you try and bring the mind as peaceful as possible, quiet as possible. And it's a beautiful challenge. And I think that's what triggered me to pursue it.
In this era, yoga and meditation are highly regarded for its physical and mental benefits. But in 1993, a 17-year-old Charles Lewis would admit that it was not yet understood in Belize.
They were like, that's a little strange. It was something strange. Yeah. And I can empathize with, when we are in ignorance, I can empathize how we might judge something. Yeah. But back then I was like, I just needed to leave the country to go live in a place that facilitated what I was studying. And so we wanted to go to India, and that was what we did.
Now, decades later, Yogi Charu is sharing the findings of teachings taught to him in his first book, a guide, he calls it, to mental hygiene.
This is my first book, a practical guide to mental hygiene, because everyone does dental hygiene, body hygiene, hair hygiene, and that's important. And the yoga culture teaches that as well. They also teach mental hygiene, how to keep the mind pure. So the book, there's a lot of practices in it to understand how our mind gets mental plaque through our 5 senses.
It's divided into the 5 human senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. All the senses that Charu explains impact the health of a person's mind.
If we see something, it goes into the mind. You hear something, it goes into the mind. You taste something, it affects your mind. Yeah. So through the 5 senses, our mind gets either pure or cluttered. So the book is to help you to understand, oh, I can make my mind do my mental hygiene every day if I just sit down and do a little concentration.
Do you feel negative emotion?
I do, but whenever a negative thought enters my mind, I know how to not react to it. Envy, jealousy, greed, Charu, that's not you. Let's turn them into a positive. So I'm human like everyone.
Yogi Charu believes that every person is a beautiful soul, but negative influences can lead to a polluted mind. In sharing his new book, Charu intends to make a stop at the Kobe Foundation, which manages the local prison. According to Charu, rehabilitation in the prison is a means for individuals to rediscover their true, beautiful selves.
As I have evolved, I understand that every human is a beautiful soul. By our wrong association, our mind gets polluted. So when I see the prisoners, understand, they are a beautiful soul. It's just their mind got deluded, confused by their association. But the mind is malleable. You can change the mind. And so I don't see the prisoners as prisoners. No, it's a place where rehab should be taken so that they can find their true, beautiful self.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
You can purchase Charo's book on Amazon.com. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com on both our Facebook and YouTube. I'm Carla Ayers Musa. From all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.